get ready to go live again in what we're gonna call an encore presentation because we have been inspired by so many topics from our original Sunday night forum that I feel like we just really needed to go live again and just rant for the night. Like whatever, if it's anything you're thinking about that frustrates you, anything you can think of, let's just talk about it. Let's really talk about it. Let's just have a forum and let's just talk about it. Because I have a couple of things that I want to talk about. And I'm pretty sure you do too. So yeah, let's just kick back, talk about various things and just kinda
Let's do the black and white setting.
oh yeah, that's cool. Let's just rap. Let's really have a freestanding forum where you can say whatever you want to say. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about. We're going to even give you the number to call us so you can really jump in and dialogue with us. So we're going to give you a few minutes to come on. I see Jamila has already hopped on. We're going to give you a few minutes to come on and we're going to really talk about it. I see my girl. So what's up? So we're gonna talk about a couple of things because we got a couple of topics from viewers from earlier that they want to talk about, and so I have a couple of things that I want to talk about. So let's get to it. Joanne, since I know you're on, we're going to give you guys the number so you can call in. Hey, cousin, I see Steven, you just chimed in. Let's really rap. The first thing is Jamila, she is a very, very huge advocate for making sure that you're sexually healthy. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have her call in and she's going to talk a little bit about the topic of STIs. But I think the biggest question that she wants to really put out there is, number one, are you being tested for STIs? It doesn't matter if you're married or in a relationship or if you dibbling and dabbling there. Are you being tested for STIs? And are you having conversations about your partner or partners about getting tested?
How many S's was that?
Is the phone over there?
Huh?
Is the phone over there?
It's like 5 S's you had?
Pass it to me.
Yeah, it was like 5.
So yeah, let's rap about that. Cause I mean, let's be honest. You guys probably know STIs is STDs, but it's real. It is really real, and we need to talk about it. You may not want to talk about it, but the reality is STIs have messed up a lot of people. One thing I was just talking to my friends about was that, you know, so many people feel like they may have yeast infections or they got urinary tract infections, and little do they know, they go to the doctor, they got gonorrhea, they got chlamydia. So just so you know, the call-in number is 804-232-6641. 804-232-6641. So I'm gonna give Jamila a few minutes to get kind of settled in. Oh. Hello, caller.
Hello.
So, I'm so glad you called in, and you know you're live. So definitely, let's talk about, or can you tell us a little about the importance of STIs and what STIs are, and just give us a little dialogue about that.
Okay, well, first, an STI is a sexually transmitted infection. I was always taught you get tested every 6 months. Some people will do even once a year. Hold on, let me cut this thing off because I'm getting confused.
Oh yeah, it's because you hear yourself.
Yeah. The reason why I asked was because in the last discussion, you talked about self-care, and getting tested to me is a part of self-care, but I have a lot of friends that don't do it, especially male friends. They get kind of offended when I say, when was the last time you got tested? Or why are you not getting tested? And they'll say, well, I only have one partner. And that don't mean nothing because things can show up years down the line and people don't realize that.
So true.
So that was the reason why I asked, especially in African American community and the minorities. That's not really something that people like to talk about. I have people that still think, HIV and AIDS is a gay man's disease. And that's just not true.
That's right.
At all.
So, all right. So, okay. Let's talk a little bit about the STIs, though. So, what are some of the STIs that people commonly get diagnosed with that they thought? Like I was saying, a lot of people have discharge and they don't even know what the discharge is, or they have a bit of an odor and they're thinking, oh, it's a yeast infection, or I got a urinary tract infection, and come to find out you got chlamydia or gonorrhea. But tell us a little bit about some of the most common diagnoses that you've seen or experienced with working with people.
The most common one is herpes. It's sometimes you won't see the signs and symptoms. And it could be as simple as you have a bump around your mouth, which a lot of people have herpes. It's not something that's uncommon.
Okay.
I think it's 1 in 5 people, I think.
Oh, wow.
I don't have my statistics in front of me, but I think it's 1 in 5.
Okay.
I'll look it up and give you the actual stat. But you could, have a little bump in your genital area, and you can think, oh, that's like a razor bump, or you're not even paying attention to it. But that could be herpes. It's just that simple, and people don't think. When you do sex ed, they give you the extreme pictures. They don't show you the little pictures. Like, with HIV and AIDS, you can have a persistent cough, and you might think that you're just sick. When you go to a doctor's office, are you being tested for HIV and AIDS? Most of the time, no, and not unless you ask. But those are some of the things that people don't know to ask. That's something that I asked, because I just had a really persistent cough, and it would not go away. When I went to the doctor's office, I said, I want you to test me for everything, including sexually transmitted diseases. And he kind of looked at me, but, that's just something that, it is what it is.
And, I appreciate you even speaking on that, because so many people don't understand that. I don't care if you're just sleeping with one person. You don't know who the person that you're sleeping with is sleeping with. You don't know how many people the person that you're sleeping with is sleeping with.
Yep. Or have slept with in the past.
Exactly.
They slept with somebody 5 years ago. They might have got tested 5 years ago, but because they weren't consistently tested, they missed it. So now it comes up, and now you're in a relationship, you're like, did you cheat on me? And that person be like, no. And they very well may not have, but because they didn't test on a regular basis, they missed that.
Very true.
You get false negative, false positive. That's why it's important to continue to get tested.
Very, very true. Well, Jamila, thank you so much for that information. I hope you continue to chime in with us. I appreciate you calling, because so many people, play with this sex thing. They play with it like it's a game of Monopoly, and they think it's okay, and it's not.
Yep, but I'll definitely be in there.
All righty. Well, if anything sparks your interest, you feel free to call us back.
All right.
All right, darling. Thanks. All right, guys. So you heard it. You heard it for yourself. Get tested. I don't care if you sleeping with the same person you've been sleeping with for 6 years. Get tested. You don't know who they're sleeping with. You don't know who they slept with in the past. Get tested. AJ, what you think about that?
Oh, she's absolutely right. Get tested. If it's not every 6 months, I know for those that actually get an annual pack for an annual physical, that should be included in your testing anyway. If you have a good gynecologist, a good gynecologist would say, let me do some blood work in addition to let me get some cells to see if everything's all good.
Yep.
So I definitely agree with getting checked every 6 months. You may be confident that you ain't got nothing, you ain't been dealing with nobody, you ain't got nothing, but it's still always good to be on the safe side to check anyway, just to put your mind at ease. So I definitely agree with her about getting checked. Like I said, it's not every 6 months, like you said, once a year when during your annual PAP or your physical. I do know for women, if you go to your primary, they'll still do a PAP on you. Just as if you go to a gynecologist, and they do a PAP as well. I know now. I think every other year they do a PAP when you're over 30. Either way, still get tested. Even if you break up, get tested.
So I see we got Beatrice, Tanisha, Ray, Tamara, and Latoya chiming in. Right now we're talking about the importance of getting tested for STIs. No matter if you're sleeping with the same person you've been sleeping for 6 years, you don't know who they're sleeping with. You don't know who they slept with previously. If you're interested in saying something, or if you have an experience with this topic, feel free to call in. Alrighty, so we have a caller. Good evening.
Good evening.
And would you like to chime in on being tested for STIs, or if you have anything else on your mind or heart, feel free. We will be glad to rap about it.
Yes, I do. This is Joanne Brown.
Okay, hi.
Hi. I can't watch and call in because I'm on my cell phone driving home.
Okay.
I did about sex education. Honestly, I talked to some sex education teachers, and they're actually not allowed to teach in depth about sexually transmitted diseases, how to prevent them, what you need to do. They're actually supposed to teach abstinence, because I had a conversation with a teacher about that. And they made it known, like in family consumer science, they can, but in PE, it's against the law. They would get in trouble.
Wow.
They don't even talk about that stuff no more, like how to properly put on a condom and different things like that.
Okay. Well, right now Planned Parenthood comes into the high school. I don't know about other high schools, but I know at the high school that I'm affiliated with, Planned Parenthood comes in, and they will conduct what's called flash education, and they definitely talk about it. But I wasn't aware that they couldn't teach that in PE, because the last I heard, when this particular group came in, I was told, oh, wow, we teach the same thing. So I don't know if maybe that was an egotistical comment or response. It probably was, oh, wow, you're bringing someone in to teach this. This is what we're supposed to teach. So, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's the problem I have. And being tested for, people, I think the problem with most men was not, most common with men was not. They're scared to get the results because they have been playing the field for so long. When I was younger, I had some male friends who actually, it was a goal of theirs they were part of the ND team, which means naked. I have my children with me, so I can't say certain words.
Gotcha, I got you.
Naked, you know what? And their goal is just to sleep with whoever they slept with without using protection.
Wow, okay. And it's interesting to me because, see, those are the people that, who's to say that they're not with someone now and they didn't sleep with somebody back then that, caused the,
And I totally agree with that. And, sometimes when you are a female out there, you're scared to get, because you trusted this male person, and you're thinking that, he said this and the third, and you're scared to bring it up because you're scared of how they're going to react to you. Like, you're the one that's the one with the problem, when it's actually something that you might have gotten from your partner. Either both ways, if it's the male or even if it's the female.
Gotcha.
It has a lot to do with the fear of admitting to the things you've done, or the realistic, I'm going to have to deal with this now.
Okay. So tell me this. So how do you teach your kids about it?
Oh, actually we talk about it. And the thing I do, because of who I believe a guy, I teach them abstinence. And I don't teach them abstinence like just don't do it. I tell them the ramifications of both the biblical aspect and just being out there.
Okay.
Because being out there, you get caught up and you sleep with somebody. And most females, you sleep with this one, sleep with this one. Most men are not going to want to be with a female that's like that has been out around about. And I tell my son, who, you know, if you think that's manhood, you're going to end up getting caught up on somebody that's that got something and then mess your life up.
Okay.
And then on the spiritual aspect, I said, look at a lot of the people. I even give myself an example. I told I'm a single mom, you know, 3 children. 2 of them from my ex-husband and 1 happened because I slept with this guy outside of marriage. And I said, do you want to, you know, live the lifestyle where you're defending? I have no problem with tending to my own, but I prefer to do it with a person that I am married to so I can have the support. You know, I use myself in certain situations that I've been through as the example for them to learn from.
Okay.
You know, and that's not everybody's belief, and that's not everybody's way of doing it, but they know we're going to have a conversation about that with no problem, with open discussion, like what have you been exposed to? Because my daughter was even asked in 5th grade, in kindergarten, about some little boy asked her to have sex with her. So they're being exposed to it. I don't run away from this.
And they are.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, you know, first and foremost, I thank you for calling in. And we're probably going to be stretching on one of the things that you said, having a child outside of your marriage. We're definitely going to talk a little bit about marriage and relationships and talk a little bit about why people step out on their marriages and relationships. And also, you know, we're going to talk about the concept of open relationships because I'm hearing that a lot here lately. I'm hearing a lot of people talking about their swingers and all this kind of foolishness. So I'm definitely, you know, we're definitely interested in talking about these things because it's real. You know, some of the stuff, I'm like, what the heck do you mean you're a swinger? Where are you swinging from? Balloons, kites? I mean, what's up? But, yeah.
It's a community. It's a community of people of wanting to experience the heightened sexual things but not knowing that's causing so much turmoil in a relationship. Because nobody's comfortable with their mate. Despite what you try to play on and try to make that person comfortable with if I'm married to a man, I'm not going to be happy to sleep with some other woman kissing her. He might enjoy that better than he do me.
Exactly. So that's why, like I said, you know, we're having these live conversations and they're real conversations. You know, nobody's working tomorrow unless you just work a job where you have to go to work tomorrow. But yeah, it's real. And let's talk about it. Let's really talk about it. But once again, I'm glad you called in, JB. Keep on chiming in. Peace up to your babies. I know you probably hanging out since everybody go back to work Tuesday, but yeah, let's continue to talk about it and continue to turn up the babies.
Thank you. Y'all, I'm gonna go back to looking at y'all now.
Okay, darling. Good night.
All right.
So you heard that. That was a female that called in, and she talked about, you know, she has children from her ex-husband. She had 1 outside of her marriage. And let's talk about that. Let's talk about marriage.
Wait a minute, what? She cheated?
She said outside of her marriage. I don't want to say she cheated. She said outside of her marriage. So I don't know if maybe after, you know, her separation or divorce.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we can talk about marriage. Let's talk about marriage, and let's talk about marriage in the essence that people are not. Hey, I see Mr. Joe Brown has stepped in. Just to let you know, right now we're talking about a couple of things. We're talking about STIs, and now we're talking about marriage, and we're talking about open relationships. We're talking about marriage, and we're trying to figure out what has happened with marriage. And for anybody else that just chimed in, we're talking about the importance of getting tested for STIs, and we're talking about marriage, open relationships, all of this foolishness with this swinging and stuff like that. So if you want to call in, you can call in. It's 804-232-6641. I'll put it in the feed if you have something that you'd like to say. But once again, if you want to chime in, if you want to call in, it's 804-232-6641. So let's talk about that. Why do you guys think that men or women step out on their marriages?
What was said to me? I still got it syndrome.
I still got it syndrome. Got what?
They step out to see if they still have it. I can still pull somebody while I'm married. So the I still got it syndrome.
Okay. So you heard that. So my co-host states that someone told her it's the I still got it syndrome. Now, Shanoa is watching and she said that insecurities. People step out because of their insecurities. And I think that plays into what AJ just said about the I still got it. You're insecure with, whatever, maybe who you are in the relationship. Maybe you don't feel like you putting it down like you used to put it down before you got married. So you want to test it out and see what's going on.
Someone said it's called ego. Actually, friend Caden chimed in. He said it's called ego.
Okay, ego. Okay. So, but I want to hear more from my guys. I see my women, are chiming in. I want to hear more from my guys. Guys, tell me something. What is it that, even in a relationship, what is it that makes you want to ultimately step out? Tell me a little bit about that. Okay, so Darnell says they feel something is missing. But what is that something? What is that something? Because I guess for me, I feel like this. If you're getting married, obviously there's something about that person that has your interest that makes you want to be with them till death do us part. Mm-hmm. So I guess I just feel like if you think you're going to be missing something, why the hell do you get married? Any input? Okay, so Darnell says, or the woman pushes them to another woman. Now,
oh God.
Now, this is my personal opinion. I'm gonna get the other ladies to chime in. And I need my other guys, Mr. Joe Brown. What do you think about that? But I'm gonna say this. Personally, I feel like you control your own areas, and if it's that easy for someone to push you to someone else, you were weak to begin with. You didn't need to be in that situation. Me personally, I feel like if and when I'm ready to get married, which will be
never.
Yeah. Then I would make sure that, for one, I'm mentally ready. Because a lot of the bull crap that's put out there is here. People that have been married for 50 and 60 years, it's not to say neither one of them ever stepped out, but I think they were mentally strong enough to work through it and jump over it. But as far as a woman pushing you to another woman, or a man pushing you to another man, I don't know if I can agree. I respect your opinion, Mr. Minor. I respect your opinion, but I don't know if I can agree with that.
From a male on my side.
Okay.
Caden said that something could be a lot of things: lust, attention, lack of self-control.
Okay.
That's from a man.
I actually think I see a different point of view as you. I actually think somebody can push you away. Like, how much can you take from a person?
Okay.
Think about it, how much you take first before you jump back at them or you go down their throat. If you walk into a house and environment every day and your wife or your husband telling you that, oh, you've been out there with the other girl, oh, you've been out there with the other guy, and they keep saying it constantly, and you know that you haven't did anything to step out your marriage.
Okay.
But that's how they feel because something they got going on in them.
Okay. So that goes back to the insecurities.
Yeah. So.
But I guess, okay, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Mm-hmm. So are they actually pushing you, or are you just not able to raw back at them and say, look, I don't know what the fuck going on with you, but I know what's going on with me. So what I'm about to do, I'm going to sleep on this couch tonight and let you get yourself together. I mean, I guess what I'm saying is, like, at what point do we, instead of stepping out, just walk off? Now, y'all know, because I just leave. I wouldn't have that argument.
Okay, so my question back is to you is, how many times are you going to walk off from it?
Well, what I'm saying is, when I say I'll just walk off, oh, I'm done. You see what I'm saying? If it keeps happening. So, but that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the people that are, for example, the young man that we were talking about. You got a wife at home, but you out here looking for all other kind of women. And then when the women find out that you're married, you say, oh, well, my wife do her and I do me. What?
That comes to play, is there an open marriage?
Which is that concept that we were moving into.
No, it's an open marriage. Is that marriage where he do him, she do him, and then they come together at the end because they can't support financially on their own to live the lifestyle they want to live? It's how I see it.
I don't know. Wait a minute. We got a couple of comments. So
they was in love when they first married. But then that break apart or going their separate ways or becoming to that open relationship got them where they want to be with somebody totally different.
Okay.
But either for the kids, financially, family-wise, because one of their family doesn't believe in divorce.
Okay, and I've seen that. Yeah. So let's see. We got a couple of comments. So Joanne says, many times it is after the most likely than 5-year mark and when they work different, because I think your love is the feeling when it's actually the struggles that you go through and conquer. And then we had Shanoa came back and said, men or women step out looking for something they feel they are lacking in their relationship, only to find out that the person they are cheating with is lacking in their way. So it's a vicious cycle, never learning that no one person is perfect and that a relationship is give and take, because the person stepping out needs to realize they aren't perfect either. Then we had one that says, Sandra says, all open marriages have nothing to do with financial reasons or being unhappy at all.
If I ask the question, what does it do with the man?
Okay. So if you want to call in, once again, if you want to call in, 804-232-6641. Our tripod over here asks, what does open marriages have to do with? Why would you want an open marriage? Any input, AJ? Why do you think people want open marriages?
Because I don't want the same stuff all the time. I want something different.
Yeah, but why are you married?
Because I love this person and my heart is attached. And I like the penis. But every now and then, I get a little taste.
Oh, okay.
For something different, for a different flavor of ice cream.
Okay.
You know, I like my dark chocolate, but I will admit it. So I like the dark chocolate, but every now and then I want vanilla bean.
Okay.
So some people look at it like that. And to answer your question, Kaden, no, it's we were talking about people stepping out in their marriages, and then some people do have open marriages. So that is a question that was put out there. Why have an open marriage if you're supposed to be committed to that particular person? That's why I went to that question. And what's the number to call?
The number is 804-232-6641. I see we have Vaughn Lewis just joined in. Once again, we're talking about, right now we're on marriages and why people step out. If you want to call in, it's 804-232-6641. So I guess where we are right now is that I'm trying to understand this thing. So I'm trying to understand.
I want different flavors of ice cream.
I either go to the justice of the peace, or I spend about $5,000 to $20,000 on this big lavish wedding give myself to this man before God, family, all those in this assembly. Then I go home. No. Then I go on this lavish honeymoon, and we have hot, butt naked sex, and then we start our life together.
Really?
All for me to step out because I want to test out something else.
The comment was sometimes they want to hurt the significant other passively.
Explain. So the comment was that sometimes they want to hurt the significant other passively. That was one of the comments that just came out. And so we definitely want to hear from our guys. Now we have a couple of comments. Miss Farmer says, my husband and I have been together 20 years, married for 15. Amen. And communication is the key. And they got married young. Lack of communication causes infidelity. Every day is not Sunday. And when things get crazy and discombobulated, you have to talk about it. But it has to be a sanctified marriage to start. All right. When it start out messy, it's not going to last anyways. Sometimes you have to go back to when things were good and figure out how to bring that to the present time. Normally, infidelity is that 80-20 concept, and we only seek what we lack in the marriage. So if you talk about it normally, that spouse will step their game up.
80-20, that was...
Sounds good. That sounds like some Tyler Perry, that 80-20 rule. All right. So, fellas, my ladies are really chiming in. I'm not hearing much from my men folk.
I wonder why.
So, men, tell me, what is it? What is it?
Crickets.
I definitely hear crickets.
Y'all be out here different.
Miss Strong says some people agree before they get married that they enjoy the excitement or experience of having others in their relationship, whether it's physical or emotional.
Okay.
But I still don't see why that makes you want to have an open relationship.
Yeah, I just...
But here's the thing. What I've noticed with open relationships is the agreement is, yeah, we can hump other people, but I need to know that you humping other folk, and I need to meet the other folk that you humping.
My thing is, if we're gonna have an open relationship, I'm just gonna be the one having an open relationship, because I feel as if when a woman is going to make that person she's stepping out with get tested, go to the doctor, see where he stands at, because of the fact that she don't want to take it home to her husband because he's gonna find out about it.
Okay.
But for as a guy, if he meet a bra on the street, she can be big butt, big titties, and she ready to fuck. He going to fuck. He ain't worried about taking if she got the STD. He ain't worried about it. Oh, excuse my language.
True.
Oh no, you fine. You fine.
True. That's true.
He's not worried about. Oh man, I wonder if she got a STD. I'm gonna take home to my wife, or she got. But a woman, if she's a clean woman,
all right,
she's worried about. Oh shit, we can't do this right now because you haven't been tested. You telling me this. Mm-hmm. But I need to know, because if I have sex with you right now, catch an STD, and take it back home to my husband, and he's not stepping out, he's gonna wonder where it come from, and then he's looking at me.
Okay.
A question was posed: ain't open relationships known as situationships?
That's a good question.
I mean, in essence, it could be. All right, so Joanne Brown says, I feel the open marriage concept came from the military people. Getting married to get that money that married people get, and they're not really married as per se, I love you, you love me. I was a financial agreement, and it looked good, so I could get married to people put on paper. It was good. It has nothing to do with the fact of the matter that I'm in love with you, and I'm going to go through with you. Now, I must admit, I have been in a situation where someone proposed that to me.
relationship?
No, to get married so that he could get an increase in the military and he would pay me each month.
Now, I have heard a lot of people in college do that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I have witnessed guys in college go to girls, probably never dated this girl before her in his life, and ask, will they marry because of the increase they get. I think it's stupid, you know.
That's just like somebody asking me to marry for my green card.
Right. But if you're young and dumb, you're going to do it because you think about money. But like I said, I haven't seen people do it.
Well, yeah, and I mean, of course I was in college when it happened. Because, I mean, anybody, I would hope nobody that's truly mature would just roll up like with the next.
These days, you'll be amazed.
So, nothing yet. So, what? I mean, but you're still, nobody has really told me what an open marriage is. What is an open marriage? Because marriage is marriage. Marriage is a union. So, an open relationship, yes. But what is an open marriage? Anybody that can give me a definition of open marriage and not your concocted definition, if you can give me a definition backed by some scholarly proof, you might can sell me on it. But what is an open marriage? Because now, I don't believe an open marriage and stepping out is the same thing. So, 2 questions. What is an open marriage, and what causes men and or women to step out on their marriages?
Someone said, I know a girl that married a gay man so that she could get an increase in her BAH.
Wow. Now, if you guys on this side didn't hear that, one of AJ's followers said they knew a woman that married a gay man so that she could get an increase on her BAH. Now, Jamila says, I can see to not cheat if you see marriage in a religious sense or you marry for love. But in recent years, marriage has become a legal agreement and not necessary for love.
So
a business proposition. Okay. Jamila, you know what? Good point. Smart girl.
Business transaction.
Wow, marriage is a business transaction. Okay. Good stuff. You know, it's amazing. People are really quiet on this topic. No one wants to talk about marriage and cheating and open relationships, but you do it though. So let's talk about it.
I don't get caught up out there then.
You know, and you probably won't admit it, but has anybody ever gotten caught cheating? Have you ever got caught? I know I'm not married, but I got caught cheating.
No, I'm too sneaky for that.
Yeah, I got caught cheating.
True.
Well, see, I went real deep. So you know, I think I'm Pimp Mary Jane. So I would never forget my first year in grad school. Me and my ex had broken up. So I decided, I'm gonna do da. So I was talking to 2 people that went to the same university that he was at. They were like in the same apartment complex, but I was a pimp. You know what I'm saying? Needless to say, I didn't get caught like in the act of dating either one of them. I got caught through some text messages.
That'll do it.
Got caught in text messages. You know? But once again, I'm not married, so I can talk to whoever I want to talk to. But really, I want to know, okay.
The question was posed.
All right, we have a question, and then we have some comments about why people step out.
Has it come to a point that marriage has become overrated?
Oh, has it up? I see my Uncle Mike just chimed in, and I'm pretty sure he's going to want to call. So definitely let me give y'all the call number. The call-in number is 804-232-6641. But we did have a comment. Well, first we're going to answer the question. The question was, has it come to a point where marriage is overrated? Now, then we had a comment about stepping out, and Terrell Sykes says, people step out for a number of different reasons, though pretty much pick an answer and got it. Not really sure what that means, but we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. Let's talk about that. Has marriage become overrated? That's what a viewer wants to know. Has marriage come to a point that it's overrated?
Someone said hell no.
All right, we have a yes on my side. We have a hell no on AJ's side. What do you think? Do you think marriage has come to the point that it's overrated?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. By us younger generation, it has.
Okay.
Oh,
And I mean,
the younger generation.
The younger generation.
Okay, because you know, and I just, y'all know me. Y'all know I just look at all the older people. You know that I watch. You know, and I'm not going to even say older people. I look at people that I know that's like in their late 40s, early 50s, that have been married since they got out of college. You know, they've put kids through college. And I'm looking at them like, wow. And you know, I often think like, I wonder if they ever had these issues. But what this is my belief. I think that everybody that's been married for a long period of time like that has stepped out in some way, whether it was physically or emotionally. Because see, what y'all thinking about, y'all just think about stepping out having sex. But the reality is that, and women, y'all might get mad when I say this, but the way I see it is, you better hope, this is for women, that your man is stepping out physically and not verbally or emotionally or mentally. Because, see, for most men, sex is sex. But if your man having 2, 3, 4 hour conversations with another woman, he's really stimulated by her. And it just may go from physical stepping out. I mean, it may go from just that talking stepping out to him really stepping the heck out of your house and leaving you completely. That's just my personal opinion. Because I feel like for women, conversation may be conversation. But men, you know, they want to get a little hunch on. But if a man is sitting down, engaging in dialogue with a woman for 2 and 3 hours and they not intimate, he must feel some type of way about that woman. Now, y'all, let me know something. What y'all think?
I got a few comments here.
Okay.
Marriage is overrated to those who don't really want to be married or need to be married.
Okay.
And don't get married for the wrong reasons or intentions, expectations.
Okay, so I see
two people that just need to be on the common ground. Emotional step out is still cheating. That's a gateway.
Okay, so over here I have, one might cheat because he or she is not getting head. One might cheat. I'm sorry. I get tickled with some of these comments.
Oh, yeah?
One might cheat because he or she isn't being spoken to in a loving way the other person is. One might cheat just because they like the thrill of it all.
Somebody said they cheat because they know head.
Okay, so if you want to call in, get ready to put the number out so you can call in.
Yeah, I said the same thing.
One might cheat because he's not what?
Because he get no head. Really? Ain't nobody put their mouth on nothing. That's what the problem is.
But if that's your husband and wife, I'm pretty sure you getting.
That's what the problem is.
Well, now wait a minute. We had an opportunity to go out with some guys the other night, and they were really cool. And one of the guys was married, and when I say go out, we were hanging out as friends afterward. But they said, don't think because we're married that we get pussy every night. Because you can lay in the bed beside pussy every day and every night and not get it.
That's true.
Hello, caller.
Hello, ladies. How you doing this evening?
Good. How are you?
All right.
So what? Okay. So what are your comments this evening?
The reasons people cheat or people might cheat are innumerable. I mean, I've seen a guy cheat just because his wife was nagging him too much. You know, the reason people cheat is that's based on person. You might want to ask the question, why have you cheated in the past? If you have cheated, why did you cheat?
Okay, Bills, do you hear that? Why have you cheated in the past? Is going to be one of the questions. All right, go ahead.
Go ahead, what?
Oh no, I was telling you to go ahead. I was telling everybody that why have they cheated in the past? Start to think about that and let it marinate a little bit.
Oh, well, I was in a relationship. I've cheated before, and the relationship that I was in, I was being neglected. You know, physically, sexually, every which way you could think.
Wow.
However, I don't know that it wasn't an issue of cheating. She just wasn't there, you know.
Okay.
And so, you know, that led me to meet somebody else that had time for me, you know.
Okay.
And then I got in that relationship, and she was neglectful too. So, you know, we went through our thing with that. But men, women think, I think withholding sex is gonna hurt the man. That will never hurt the man. That's gonna hurt you. You know what I mean? If that's what you're doing in your relationship, just because you call yourself being upset with him, that's gonna make him step out.
Okay.
Especially if y'all married, and especially if you ain't got a God-fearing husband or God-fearing boyfriend, of which if you got a God-fearing boyfriend, y'all wouldn't even be having sex to begin with. But let's just say you're in a relationship with a dude, and you want to hold sex from him because he's mad. The only person you holding the sex from is yourself. He's just going to get it from somewhere else. That's a fact.
And that actually goes back to what I was just saying, that I was telling women, you need to be fearful if your man is engaging in 2 and 3 hour conversation with a woman and not intimate with her. Because 9 times out of 10, if men are just, you know, sexing another woman, they're not emotionally attached. But when a man starts dialoguing with a woman and they are constantly and consistently dialoguing for hours and hours, that woman has that man's attention.
But here's the thing, if a man is emotionally detached from you, he's going to leave you. Women will stay in that relationship and meet somebody else and eventually leave for the man. So when a man is emotionally detached, he's not sticking around.
Well, that much, I agree.
When men cheat, we don't cheat with women we like. That's the problem with women and men. Y'all cheat with dudes y'all might like or want to be with. Men cheat with a woman that's just going to help pass the time. A lot of the time, if it wasn't for the side chick, a lot of y'all women will be single. Sometimes the side chick help build y'all relationship while y'all work on things. Otherwise, men will be getting out of relationships left and right. They will be getting out of relationships left and right. Y'all might not want to hear it, but some of y'all in y'all relationships because there's a side chick. Because there's somebody keeping that man sane until y'all get shit, until he get his mind right or y'all work on y'all issues. Other than that, men will be leaving y'all, or he might just be with you particularly because you're doing something for him, you're giving him a place to stay. But he's got somebody else he really likes who just probably can't do that for him or won't do it. But, you know, I mean, there's a number of reasons why a man cheats. But when you get down to the nitty-gritty, you know, it's something that is lacking. Most men can't, men not going to keep themselves in a less than perfect situation for them.
Okay.
Now, what I mean by that is nobody's perfect, of course, but there's always somebody perfect for him. And when that situation becomes less than perfect for him, that's the problem. And so that's when you're going to have a man doing things to find that piece that's missing. For instance, like I mentioned before with the oral sex part, some men might be shallow enough to step out because they want that. They want that part of them fulfilled. While you're still meeting everything else, you're not fulfilling that. And if a dude is shallow enough, he'll step out so he can get that fulfilled.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So at what point does the cheater look at themselves and say, what's wrong with me? Because personally, I don't feel like all the time it's the other person. I feel like sometimes it's something within us that causes us to step out. And I'm woman enough to say that if I step out, I know it's me because I'm going to do what I want to do. So at what point do you stop blaming the other person and look at yourself?
When you mature.
Exactly.
And you say, I gotta leave you alone and end the relationship. Hold on, I can't hear you. You got real low.
I couldn't even hear. I'm sorry, cause my cause she was saying she has comments. Hold on one second. What are the comments?
One question was posed was, could it be that so many people in this generation come from single parent homes?
Oh, okay.
This generation feels overrated or not needed.
Okay, so I'm just gonna hang up. So, okay, so question was posed. Could it be that so many people are coming from single parent homes and that's why marriage is overrated? What you think?
Somebody answered that and said single parent homes. This is from a man. I come from a divorced family. I value my bond because my family's issues do not direct my path.
Oh, okay.
Emotional neglect is the worst because you feel as though there is no investment from your mate.
Okay.
That was from a guy.
Okay. Okay, so it seems like we get some really good comments tonight. So, I mean, what's up? Like, tell me a little bit more.
That head thing is bothering me.
Okay. Rand.
What was his comment again?
So he was basically just saying some people cheat because they're not getting head. And Jamila said, well, everybody doesn't give it.
Yeah, he says one might cheat because he or she is not getting head. One might cheat because he or she isn't being spoken to in loving ways. And the other person is.
Wait a minute, spooned?
Spoken.
Oh, okay, spoken.
Sorry, spoken. And one might cheat just because they like the thrill of it all.
I get the thrill part, and I get the loving ways. But the head thing.
He said it could be either. Jamila said, yes, I agree with that. That's what they call it. And, Jamila said everybody don't give head.
Right, okay. This head thing, because this head thing is bothering me. All right. You should already know by the time you get married whether or not somebody will put your mouth on you or not.
Well, that was my question. That's my thing back to them was.
Let's just keep it real. If you know your girl is not about that head life, and she not trying to be about that head life, then either that's going to be a deal breaker for you or not, and vice versa.
That's what my question back was. I guess my next question is, did you know that before the relationship? Like, you have to know. That's a question.
There's a comment for you.
Go ahead.
Don't get stuck on the head aspect. I'm just getting at the point. It could be something smaller. It could be something major. That's from Trail. Jamila says, I think it's more broken marriage homes and not knowing what a healthy relationship looks like. And she said he was just giving examples. Okay.
Okay, the hair thing still bothers me, but okay. I get your point, but it still bothers me.
Okay.
Know what they can and can't do before you get married to them. I'm just saying. Some people could learn. Some people would just do just to satisfy. Some people just not with it.
True.
At all.
Well, I guess for me, I just feel like you pee from there. Like I just see pee. I'm just now her husband, that's a little different, but just I'm gonna leave it at that.
Next question.
I'm gonna leave it at that. All right, so let's get off of open marriages and relationships. The next serious topic of the night. Why is it so hard for folks to come out? And I don't mean come outside in the rain. I ain't talking about come outside when it's thunderstorming and lightning. Why is it so hard for people to come out of the closet? Why is it so hard for people to reveal their true sexual orientation? Well, crickets or...
in 2016, even though it's still, in a sense, taboo to some folks. It's not as frowned upon as it was many years ago.
Okay.
But some people still may be scared because of family values.
Okay.
Which is plays a huge a huge part, especially if there's a religious aspect.
Okay. Now I can, you know what? And you know that leads me to think about a couple of incidents that we've been talking about. And at one point, do you really say, yo, this is my child, I'm gonna love him regardless? We were talking about the haves and the have-nots. And look at all the mental anguish and trauma and trouble that is causing that boy, because of that.
Who are you laughing at?
Oh, Jamila told Lily it's flavor song.
Oh, ha. And Jamila, yeah. All I'm gonna say is happy birthday 2014. So yeah. Okay, so Jamila says it's because society is judgmental.
Still?
True. I had a guy in college. This guy, he's very different to me, and he came out not to me, but to like Facebook and his family when he graduated college. He was getting ready to go to the Army, and he came out. We asked the question, why didn't he come out? Why didn't he come out before then? And I asked him that, like, I'm fine with that's who you are. He said the reason he did not come out before he graduated college was because he know how his daddy really is, and his daddy benefit from the Army, help pay for him to get through college.
Okay.
And he knew if he would have came out
Jason.
then, his daddy would have disowned who he really is.
Okay.
And he thought that those benefits, that he's going to get his benefits cut off, and that he will struggle to get to where he is now. Like, now he's a model and everything, and his daddy is for him now. But he said in college, he just thought that his daddy was not going to be there for him.
Okay, so I had just a comment. Mr. Sykes says, my son or daughter turn gay, then I'm going to have to no longer have a son or daughter.
I mean, some people feel like that.
Sykes.
That's what Gyrlz Sykes said?
I mean, some people feel like that.
And we want to welcome Jason Thompson and Vaughn Wellington. I'm so glad y'all chimed in. Right now, this is the topic. Right now, we're talking about what makes it so hard for boys and girls, women and men to come out with their true sexual orientation in 2016. What makes it so hard?
For one, like I said, one is family values, and I guess you can combine with, like I said, religion, religious background. Two is expectation from the family.
Okay.
Like she was explaining, like, his dad was, Army, had all these high expectations, knew how his dad was. So you don't want, like, destroy that, or think you're going to destroy that relationship.
Okay.
So you try to hide who you are to appease somebody.
So Jamila, we got a little drama on the live feed because Jamila just said that's dumb. She just told Terrell that was dumb. That was a dumb statement. Okay. And we all have our own opinions, but I must say that as a parent, and I don't have kids. So if you want to say you don't have kids, so you can't speak, go ahead and say it. I don't have kids of my own, but I have 1,800 kids. And I will say, if it's that easy to disown your child, then maybe you shouldn't be a parent. That's just my thought. Because I just feel like, your child will need you more when they come out than they ever needed you before, because the world is against them. So, hypothetically, if your child came out and you disowned them and they committed suicide, would you be bad? I mean, let's really think about this thing.
I feel like if you disown your child when they come out the closet, you never loved your child while it was in the closet.
I agree. And if you knew your child, and the other thing is, I feel like this, if you know your child, you're going to know their mannerisms. Because and I have the perfect example. And I think we talked about this once before. You remember when I told y'all, when I meet somebody and I think I like them and I call my mom and be like, Mom, I went out with such and such. And then I tell her some of the things they did and she be like, oh, that ain't going to last long. Why? Because she know her child. She knows what I'm going to put up with. She knows what I'm not going to put up with. And she knows who I am. So I just say that to say, if you know your child, you're going to know that they need to come out the closet before they even come out the closet. Unless, of course, you're going to be the parent that keep them in the closet just because you don't want to be embarrassed. Which it has not. I feel like if your child choose to sleep with someone in the same sex or be attracted to someone in the same sex, that's their business.
Put me in the closet.
You know, at what point, and the other part of it is, I understand the religious piece. I get that. But let's just be real for a minute. Let's just really be real for a minute. Are you really willing to give up your child just because they choose a certain sexual preference?
You know,
If they choose a certain religious preference, are you going to do the same thing? Like, come on. When can we, let's be real.
There's a big tone on this thing sometimes.
Huh?
Somebody said, okay, R, because I was saying it in the closet.
Oh.
In the closet.
So yeah, come on, y'all. Let's talk about this thing, because it's really getting in my spirit. It's really getting in my spirit. So Jason says, of course, societal reasons, but also because of the finality of the decision. Once you say it, you can't go back. Now, Jason, that's probably the most profound comment that I've heard.
Once you say you can't go back.
Yep. He said, of course, societal reasons, but also because of the finality of that decision. Once you say it, you can't go back. Now, I can't, you know what?
But Trump go back all the time, though.
But just come back. Seek ye to understand before you want to be understood. Let's just break it down.
Where's that written at, Lily?
Oh, it's one of Cubby's 7 habits. I knew that before she even put it up. But I get what he's saying. Think about it. If I go out here and say I'm gay, I like women, then a year later I'm getting married to a man, people first thing will say, well, I thought she was gay and she wanted. I get it.
But why can't somebody be like, she was saved?
But because it didn't have anything to do with that. I think what he's saying is once you speak it, it's out there. Mm-hmm. That's what people are going to remember.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's your preference.
but why judge me when I change?
And I
Can't
understand.
change who I become.
But I don't think that's what he's saying. I truly believe he's saying the finality of the decision. Once you put that out there, that's what it is. Think about it. How many people remember the positive stuff that you do more than they remember the negative?
I mean, that's true. But that's just like my mom telling me that words are like bullets. Once you say them, you can't never get them back.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand where he's coming from and what he's trying to state. But then here we go saying that person can change.
But see, that's what I'm saying. I really don't think that's what he's saying. I think what he's saying is just like you said, your mama said it. Once you say it, you can't go back.
Yeah.
Meaning you can't take it back that you done said it. I don't think he's saying that you can't change. He's saying that once you put it out there, you can't take it back. And I agree with that. Because think about it. Once you say you gay, I mean, everybody gonna think you gay. Now, he went through again and said, some families would disown children for their political parties. I was ridiculed by my family initially for my political views. And I think that's something that we were just talking about, Jason. So we appreciate those comments, definitely. Ooh, this is a hot topic.
I see.
So,
Now that in my head now.
I personally feel like if you're gay, come out. I mean, it's plenty of gay people in this world today. If you're a monster and you're gay, I give two fucks that you're gay. Because I don't mind hanging around you because you're like that.
uh-huh.
I mean, I know people judge you because of how they are.
Yeah.
Now, what I do hate is when you tell me God made you that way. Now, if you could be my gay friend, you step to me, you say, God made me this way, I'm cutting you loose. Because God didn't make you that way.
All right.
God made Adam and Eve.
I know that's
Not Adam
right.
and Steve. So don't lie and say God made you that way.
Okay. Now I can respect
Now,
that.
something could have happened and you became that way. But it wasn't God doing it. Don't put that lie on God.
But you know, we put God in everything.
And we do.
We put God, and you know, in the stuff, and when I say that, God should be in everything, but don't put God in the middle of your mess. Straight up. Okay. Wow. Like, now that's serious. Wow. I'm just disowning your child. That really threw me. That really threw me for a loop.
Somebody said Noah, Amber, and Eve.
Oh. So, I mean, where are we in 2016?
Is that be that baby?
So, I think we have a case of, So,
social workers out there. Our neighbor being kids over here.
Wow, guys. I mean, I'm really intrigued by some of these comments. I'm a little baffled.
Somebody said, I wouldn't disown my son or daughter for their sexuality. Life is hard enough being black. You are placing your religious beliefs on others. Everybody's God is not the same.
Very true. Very true. So one of AJ's followers said, everybody's God is not the same. That's the reality of it. And we have to learn to embrace our religious views, but stop trying to force yours on other people.
Amen.
Now,
amen. And that's when you want
I don't need to know what you think I'm supposed to say and know about the Word of God. I don't need you to tell me God was black, God was white, God had red hair, God had purple hair. Because you read the Word to learn. So I agree with that person. Everybody's God is not my God. Some people's God is the trees, the moon, the stars, you know, Zeus, Athena. I mean, I agree with that. How do y'all feel about that? Is there anybody out there that considers themselves to be spiritual and not religious? Anybody out there that feels that they're spiritual and not religious? And if you do, call in. We want to hear from you.
How you just talk about like what you hate, like what people like try to tell you about God or whatever. You know something I hate.
What you hate?
When you was, and I know you can step into your own religious or whatever, but when you was raised in that Baptist, you know, that sanctified church, you come out here and you wrapped up with all this stuff around your face, you tell me your Lord.
Somebody comment said we must remember that free will is the main tenement of Christianity. That's why you don't let everyone pray for you.
All right. Okay, we got a caller. Good evening, caller.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. And yourself?
I'm doing just fine. Do you have some comments for us this evening?
Yes. She just asked somebody to call in if they consider themselves to be spiritual and not religious.
Yes, sir. Definitely. So do you consider yourself to be spiritual?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I grew up as a Christian, and I had very deeply held Christian beliefs. But the older that I grew, the more I started to question the Bible. And the more I started to question the Bible, the less answers I was able to come up with. And I would consistently go to preachers, elders, and deacons, and I was never able to get some answers to some what I thought were very basic questions. So that led me to believe that, and you know, continuing with my own research and looking at Christianity, but Islam, 5%ers, the Jewish religions, the Egyptian religions, I saw too many similarities, and I saw too many questions that I was consistently having.
Okay.
So I don't know, at this point, I do believe in God, and I do believe that the Bible has some principles that are definitely worth following.
Okay.
I just don't think that it's what it's portrayed to be.
Okay. So do you feel like, let me ask you this, because now I know you said that you went to preachers and elders and things of that nature. Now, Me personally, I have an issue with people calling themselves elders, bishops, and apostles and things of that nature. Because number one, if you're an apostle, that means you walked with back then with Jesus. You're not an apostle.
Agreed.
And deacons. I come from a church, and I'm gonna say church, not religion. I'm gonna say church, where when I was a kid, we had some very strong, educated deacons. The older I got, those deacons passed on, and we got some old, ignorant, foolish deacons that were probably some of the type of people that you talk to. And I'm not saying that's who it was, but from the way you said that you had to, talk to different people. And the reason I say that is because you have to be mindful of who you're talking to. Just because this man is standing in that pulpit every Sunday, or if he calls himself a deacon, he may not have that one-on-one connect with God.
That's the interesting thing. I went to a private Christian school from 6th grade to 12th grade. Then I went to a private Christian college for 3 years. And studying the Bible was one of those things that was necessary for me to graduate from high school, and it was a requirement while I was in college.
Okay.
So a lot of the studying that I did was kind of on my own, because it was geared towards the school. And I also, growing up, wanted to be a preacher. And it was because I saw I don't even want to say that because of what I'm going to say later on. But I saw the connection that the people at the church that I was going to had with God.
Okay.
I definitely, asked them questions. The preacher that I was going to, that the church was being run in the wrong direction because people had their own selfish motives when it came to money. But I went to other churches. I spoke to other preachers. I spoke to other pastors. I didn't just go to one church my entire life. I've been to churches in Mississippi, in Chicago, Tennessee, in North Carolina, in Maryland. And I keep on having some questions that nobody can really answer.
And what are some of those questions?
Well, one very specific one. If you read in the book of Job, the first chapter and the second chapter, it speaks specifically about God having a meeting with the sons of God, and the devil presented himself, and that's when he told him, have you tried my servant Job? Everybody knows that story. Then you go back to Genesis, and you read the story of the flood. And at that point in time, it says that the sons of God took to themselves wives of the daughters of men. What does that mean?
That's when they fell from heaven, when they took pleasure to the women of the earth.
So my co-host AJ is saying that the Negrophiliums were in the time of Enoch.
That was the time of Enoch.
So I guess what you're saying is that you see conflict. Are you saying that you see conflicting stories in the Bible? Is that what you feel like?
Well, yes, there are definitely conflicting stories. If you take things in literal or even in the alliteral translation, there are some very conflicting stories, even down to crucifixion of Jesus. 4 different people, 3 of them who were actually there. 4 different accounts of crucifixion. Specifically in that situation, if we're saying that angels were having wives of men, and that kind of with some of the other religions out there.
Okay. Don't you think that a lot of religions are based off of a true and living God? Because I just feel like you're right. We all kind of have some of the same beliefs. We really do.
That's ultimately what I'm saying. I do believe that there is a God. I am not somebody who believes that this entire universe came from circumstance. But, however, my questions are really, one, why are we trying to be Team Jesus, Team Muhammad, or anything? If we're supposed to be anything, we're supposed to be Team God. Don't follow the messenger, follow his message. That's
Okay.
one. But the Bible itself came after so many other religions.
Mm-hmm.
So we're supposed to ignore the other ones that have similarities to this one because this one's right.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Do you believe that the Old Testament is in essence what is to come? And do you feel that the New Testament is the Old Testament fulfilled?
I can't say that I do.
Okay, okay.
Because that would, one, be saying that at a certain point in history, God said, I'm going to create a world full of people and then select these few people to send them to heaven.
Okay.
And ignore everyone else. And then speak to those people through other people.
Okay, okay.
My whole issue is, if God is trying to get everybody to follow Jesus, why is it so much of a mystery?
Okay.
If he really wants everybody to come to him the way that the Bible says, and the only way to come to him is through Jesus, why is Jesus such a mystery?
Wow. Okay. And Jason, we appreciate your comments. And I'm gonna look for that clip of that guy. Okay. Yeah, Jason, we thank you so much for calling in, and you gave us something to think about, and we'll post the question. And definitely feel free to continue to watch and chime in as you wish, but we really appreciate your comments.
All right, thank you.
All right, love. You have a great night. So, that was Mr. Thompson, and Jason said, if we're really supposed to go to God through Jesus Christ, why is Jesus such a mystery? Ladies, do you have anything that you want to say about that?
I don't think Jesus is a mystery.
Me either.
Okay. All right. So we have
I just think we all see him differently.
Okay. So my ladies, my co-host here said that they don't think Jesus is a mystery. They just feel like we all see him differently. But that's the good thing about freedom and diversity. You have the right to believe what you want to believe. You have the right to view things as you want to view it. But I'm going to locate this clip because I want you, and I'm pretty sure some of you have seen it on Facebook, but I want you to hear what this gentleman said about God and what he felt was true. And I'm looking for it. AJ, you want to chime in a little bit on what Mr. Thompson was just saying while I find the clip?
I mean, he has some valid questions. We all have questions. Trying to seek further knowledge on who is God, who is the right God, what's the right way, and so forth, and different doctrines that's been written. But as far as me being a believer in Jesus Christ, the missing element is the Holy Spirit. Because that's, as far as what I believe, that's who helps you interpret. As far as the doctrines, what's being written, and different things like that. By all means, we all had our questions, especially when we had bad things happen to us, and it's like, why is bad things happen to good people? We've all had that question. But, he's doing right by seeking and continually seeking the answer. It's just, as a church, the church needs to be more equipped for things like that, or for when people ask certain questions, because it's not just cut and dry with, I believe in Jesus Christ, I'm gonna get saved, get filled with the Holy Ghost, and get baptized. Because you come against life situations, and it causes a bunch of questions to come about, and the church isn't equipped. The church just teaches you boom, 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 and doesn't deal with life issues.
AJ, don't you think it all goes back to those real leaders in the church? You don't have those real leaders in the church anymore. You got deacons that couldn't even carry on the sermon if the preacher dropped dead in the pulpit.
That's true.
Okay, Jason posed a question. He said, last question, if Jesus isn't divided, why do I have 9 churches on my street?
He said Jesus isn't divided.
If he isn't divided.
That came from,
that's man's doing.
Yeah, that came from if you actually go back and read the way that the churches were set up during the evangelists or during after Peter and Paul, the way the churches were set up, all churches were set up a certain way and were supposed to operate a certain way. But then man came in, or was already in, and developed this mindset of, I got this title, I can do what I want to do. And that's actually descriptive in one of the New Testament books that Paul writes to one of the churches about, that they done got so, a church was money hungry, and they forgot the principles of why they were built. They forgot why Paul came and helped them set up, and then he went on and moved on to another city to set up another church. What is going on in the churches today is who Paul was writing to back then. Okay. It's just repeating itself. So again, you have a lot of churches who set up, and they're not operating under the direction of God. They're just setting up so they can get money, or just setting up because, oh, look at me, I'm a title, and people respect titles and what comes with the title, so they're not going to question it like they're supposed to.
Okay.
Because you're taught to not just listen to the word, but challenge the word and make sure that the word that's coming forth is from God.
Okay.
Because that can hinder you, so to speak, in your walk.
Okay.
So a preacher can go up there and preach all day long. A preacher can say, for instance, y'all need to go out here, and the women need to go out here, need to wear these short shorts.
Here it is.
And all this other stuff. But if you don't challenge that word, you're just going to take that word and just run with it without knowing and educating for yourself, which is what Jason is doing. Jason is investigating and researching and all that, which is good. But a lot of stuff is man. And when you challenge man like you're supposed to, if you walk in righteousness and you challenge man, they're going to get mad.
Okay.
Because it's not of God. When it's not of God, you're going to feel something if you have a relationship with God.
Okay, so we're gonna tone it down from the religious tune, because we've had some really powerful discussion tonight. The first topic of the night was about marriage and open relationships. The second topic was about people having trouble coming out of the closet, which led us to talk about religion. But after I let you hear this clip about how this man Stephen Fry rips at God, we're going to talk about why is it that the people that defended Ryan Locke, whatever his name was, they defended him, but they persecuted Colin Kaepernick. So after this clip, we're going to talk about that.
What will Stephen Fry say to him or it?
Ooh.
I will basically, what's known as the Odyssey, I think, I'd say bone cancer in children? What's that about? How dare you? How dare you create a world in which there is such misery not our fault? It's not right. It's utterly, utterly evil. Why should I respect a capricious, mean-minded, stupid God who creates a world which is so full of injustice and pain? That's what I would say.
And you think you're going to get in
on
on that?
But I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to get in on his terms. They're wrong. Now, if I died and it was Luton, Hades, and if it was the Greek gods, then I would have more truck with it, because the Greeks they didn't pretend not to be human in their appetites and in their capriciousness and in their unreasonableness. They didn't present themselves as being all-seeing, all-wise,
and if you guys can't hear this link, let me know and I'll send you the link to
this
it.
Universe, if it was created by God, is quite clearly a maniac, utter maniac, totally selfish. Totally. We have to spend our life on our knees thanking him? What kind of God would do that? Yes, the world is very splendid, but it also has in it insects whose whole life cycle is to burrow into the eyes of children and make them blind. They eat outwards from the eyes. Why? Why did you do that to us? You could have made a creation in which that didn't exist. It is simply not acceptable.
So this man called God a foolish God. He said, what kind of God would create a world which is so full of injustice and pain? And so, you know, when I first heard that video, I was just appalled. I wanted to punch the man in the face. But he has the right to his opinion. But like I said, we're going to tone it down a little bit and we're going to come a little more current. And we're going to talk about why is it that the same people who defended Ryan Lochte, they persecuted Colin Kaepernick. AJ, I know that's your boy, so let's talk about it.
I love my quarterback. That's always been my response since he came out with the afro and the scruffy face with the pig socks. I love my quarterback. But again, I'm a music and movie head, so it just reminds me of Outkast's song, The Whole World, where 1 minute the world will love you and praise you, and the next minute it'll drag you and talk crazy about you. And it's just amazing that this is Ryan Lochte's second time in the Olympics, acting a fool. And you know, boys will be boys. He was just drunk. He won't try and get in trouble. Oh, let him slide. Let the rapist slide on the 6 months. Let the other dude slide and molested the 8-year-old. Let him slide. 30 days. All these let him slide, let him slide, let him slide. But what kills me is the same people ask for the truth. The same people want the truth. The same people actually express the truth and put it out there. So when Colin Kaepernick said, you know what, I'm not feeling what the national anthem is about or what the Star Spangled National Anthem is about. I'm not feeling the Pledge of Allegiance is about and all that stuff. So I'm going to sit on down while y'all, you know, stand and acknowledge. Because I have my reasons and, you know, people fought this land so I can do this. I'm going to just chill.
Okay.
He ain't go out and spread the word to everybody. Hey, look at me, this is what I'm doing. Somebody noticed it and went up to him like, hey man, I seen you sitting down during the national anthem. What's up with that? Well, this is my reasoning. And after that, he's been criticized, persecuted, jerseys burnt. He's been called a Negro or a nigger actually. Go back to your country. How can you say that? You was raised by some white folk. You had a good life. You're making that money. How dare you speak up against stuff like that? And ain't no such thing going on like that. What you saying? And all that is proving his point. Ryan Lochte pretty much embarrassed the United States.
He did. And you know, it's interesting that you said that because Jason responded and said, I guarantee the media coverage of these situations is different overseas.
Of course, overseas.
And the same people calling Kaepernick unpatriotic have been he said, and the same people calling Kaepernick unpatriotic have been disrespectful to the president.
Well, here's the thing, and that's true. It's crazy how before the Olympics happened, you had the shootings, which, you know, they still shooting going, but it haven't been heavy on the news lately. When it was heavy, you had people overseas saying that was coming over the U.S. They were telling them, hey, look, player, be careful when you go to the United States because the police out here shooting for no reason.
What in the world? I'm sorry about that.
But this is overseas, where you have people overseas traveling and they're saying, hey, be careful when you go to the United States because you might get shot up. You know, you might just get shot up. Just be careful. You know, it's kind of like one of those advisories. Hey, there's a disease out here in Brazil or China somewhere, be careful.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same way they go to the US, be careful, they're shooting. I don't know if we really want to go right now because it's real live. Travel advisory, a little shaky, but if you do go, be careful. And that's from the other side looking at us. And it's like, oh no, we're not like that, but that's what's being portrayed. That's what's being shown thanks to media and what's the word? Sensationalism.
Okay.
That's it, sensationalism. You're only gonna put out what's popular, what's popular. And then
That's true. That's true.
We're gonna twist it up. Like what's his name? Al Roker had an argument with the guy at the Olympics about Ryan Lochte, and the guy straight defended him. But again, we're trying to defend true Katie perspective. That's true. But we're trying, people who agree with Colin, we trying to defend him. And it's like, no, he's disrespectful. But Ryan Lochte was being disrespectful.
But you know,
he was being a boy.
But let's talk about but let's talk about the national anthem though. Let's really talk about the national anthem because I'm interested. I'm interested in going through the national anthem. Okay, we all know the first verse of the national anthem, right? But let's listen to the third verse real quick. And where is that band who so vauntingly swore that the havoc of war and the battle's confusion, a home and a country should leave us no more? Their blood has washed out their foul footsteps' pollution. No refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave. And the star-spangled banner in triumph doth wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Now listen to what that said.
Yeah, that was funny, Kate. I'm sorry.
Now listen. No refuge could save the hireling and slave, but then you jump and say, or the land of the free and the home of the brave. So who are the free? Because what he just said, no refuge could save the hireling and slave. But see, what happens is, it's metaphor.
I have a clip from
and he used in these lyrics, all right, hold on one second. These lyrics, he put the mumble jumble in between that and the ending to throw you off of what he was saying. But if you take off the last stanza of that third verse, you will see no refuge could save the hireling and slave or the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Got a comment. I have served in the Army honorably, and as a veteran, I am proud of Colin Kaepernick using his First Amendment right to positively impact a dialogue on issues affecting the oppressed through systematic means. Someone said, by the way, all the verses of the national anthem are in my church hymnal book. And I got a clip on my page. I posted it, I think it was yesterday, by a journalist by the name of Ben Swan, who actually does a thing called Reality Check. If you're outraged by Colin Kaepernick and not or not by something else he say.
Well, we need to be outraged by it all.
Well, yeah, that's what he was saying, but this is the clip.
I hope you can hear the clip, guys.
Until there is justice in this country for those wrongfully killed at the hands of police. Tonight, we take a look at the bizarre history of the anthem and why outrage may be pointed in the wrong direction. This is a reality check you won't see anywhere else.
When there's significant change, and I feel like that flag represents what it's supposed to represent, this country is representing people the way that it's supposed to,
Colin Kaepernick explained why he sat. And that's what we need to look at. Look at his explanation for sitting.
But interestingly, Kaepernick won't stand for an anthem that, as it turns out, celebrates the death of slaves. And I'm willing to bet you had no idea about this, because the only part of the story that we sing is the first verse. And yet, if you keep singing, the Star Spangled Banner says much more than you might think. Let's start here, because the Star Spangled Banner came to be during the war.
Why is it that we only sing the first verse of the Star Spangled Banner? Why? Why is it?
That's the only part we know.
That's the only part we're supposed to know. Think about it. That's the only part you're taught.
True. But as explained in an article by The Intercept, one of the missing parts of history is that part of the reason the British have been so successful during that war was their active recruitment of American slaves. Whole families found their way to the ships of the British, who accepted everyone and pledged that no one would be given back to their owners. Adult men were trained to create a regiment called Colonial Marines, who participated in many of the most important battles, including the August 1814 raid on Washington. Then on the night of September 13th, 1814, the British bombarded Fort McHenry. King, seeing the fort's flag the next morning, was inspired to write the lyrics for the Star Spangled Banner. So without question, American slaves played a role in fighting against Americans in that battle. About 6,000 former slaves total fought with the British to secure their own freedom. And he speaks of them when he writes this: no refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave. And the Star Spangled Banner in triumph doth wave over the land of the free and the home.
The clip, the verse I just read.
On its head. See, for those slaves, this was not a land of the free. Reality check. During the War of 1812, there actually was one group fighting for their freedom. And the Star Spangled Banner celebrates America's triumph over them.
There's a lot of things that need to change. One specifically is police brutality. There's people being murdered unjustly and not being held accountable.
Very true.
Paid leave for killing people.
You know, my hat's off. The more I hear Colin Kaepernick and how he really discussed how he felt and why he did what he did, I generate more and more respect for him, because this boy did his homework. And Jason, I agree with you. Trump calls out America and gets the Republican nomination. Kaepernick does the same and has his job threatened. The land of the free and the home of the brave. It's been a good night, y'all. I think this is where we need to sign out. We're coming up on like almost 2 hours. And we've enjoyed you guys tonight. Thank you for calling in. Jamila, Jason, Mr. Sykes. Thank y'all for calling us. I hope that we said something tonight to really get your mind rolling and to really make you want to act. But think about it. What I'm going to leave you with tonight is this. Why is it that we were only taught and we only sing the first verse of the national anthem? And when you get the answer to that, you don't have to say it live. Inbox it to me. Inbox it to me. But why is it that we only learn the first verse of the national anthem? And why is it that we only sing it? And why is it that we sing it at every sporting event? And does anybody have the balls to learn the whole song and sing it at a sporting event so that people will know that the Star Spangled Banner really is not a message of unity? I don't know if you see it, but reading those lyrics, I don't feel free or brave at all. Thanks for chiming in. I'm your girl, LM. And AJ, have a wonderful Labor Day. Peace and love to you all. And as always, remember,
And so,
MBG listens, and then we speak. Good night, everybody.